Okay. It says that we're streaming, so that's always a good start. And allegedly we're live, even though the screen is black. So if you can see and hear me, uh, shout out and say so. Welcome back to day 7 of the Demonetisation saga. The mug today says, "Just stab me now." Hello, Timothy. It is, it is that. We're not quite there yet, honestly. We're doing okay, but it's it's a time, guys. It's a time. So for those of you who are not up to speed so far, the saga goeth thusly. We on Tuesday last week, I got an email saying, "Hello, your AdSense account has been disabled. You cannot monetize anything on your YouTube channel." It turns out that both my personal and my business AdSense accounts have been disabled. So, like, neither of those are working. Like, okay. Which makes sense because they're both associated with the same channel. So, if there's some kind of policy thing, then it would make sense that they sort of cut both of them out. Hello, hello. Okay, we're all in here. It's all good. And I said, right, okay, what do I do? So I said, what do I do, chat? And chat said, you need to go on Twix. And I said, I don't want to. I don't even remember if I know my password. But I did. I logged in and I tweeted at YouTube creators or whoever. And they, I did get a response having done that. Because I tried to use their appeal form, but the appeal form, it would say, thank you for submitting your form. And then 2 minutes later, I would get an email that said, for one of these 5 reasons, we're not going to tell you which one, obviously, we can't do anything about your appeal form. So that was Tuesday. On the Thursday, I think, on the Wednesday, I finally found my partner manager's email address, and I emailed my partner manager. On Thursday, I still hadn't heard from my partner manager, so I said, how do I find... what do I do? And chat once again came through and said, have you tried messaging your partner manager on LinkedIn? And I said, I haven't tried that, but I'll give it a go. So I did. And I got a message back from my partner manager which said, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Have you tried reaching out to creator support? And I responded, yes, I have. I've been in touch with them for a couple of days now, but they keep telling me to fill in a form, and then the form won't fill in properly, and then they say, well, we can't really do anything unless that form gets filled in. So on later that same day, they said to me, creator support, that is, who I think is a real person, or at the very least is pretending to be a real person who lives in Australia, because I only ever get emails between 9:30 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. my time. They said, listen, what you need to do is you just need to wait a few days, and then you need to try submitting the form again. And I said, that sounds like it's a problem on your end, and you're not allowed to tell me that, but okay, let's give that a go. So that was, I don't know, Thursday night or Friday morning or something my time. So I went, right, well, I'll just try it again on Monday, shall I? So I tried it again this morning. Guess what? It's still not working. So I've tweeted, and YouTube creator support on Twix is like, are you emailing creator support? I'm like, yes, they keep telling me to fill in this form. It's still not working. So, but clearly they're just trying to get me to stop tweeting about it. But I'm not going to, because it has been my experience that the only way you ever get YouTube to do anything is to publicly shame them. So, that being the case, here we are, publicly shaming YouTube again, and also making beware of the leopard jokes, because why not? I can't believe this is still going on. Indeed. Had to be up at 4 a.m, but finally catching one of these live. Yay! I mean, yeah. Try again and get lost support. I'm having a stressful work week, so I might as well escape my problems for a bit by listening to someone else's stressful work week. It's pretty bad that you're having a stressful work week, Jonathan. It's only, I know you're in my time zone, and it's only 9:35 on Monday morning. I hope your week improves quickly. So, yes. If you are on Twitter, X, Twix, then, you can tweet about it and tag them, because that will annoy them. It might annoy them into doing something. Yes, my partner manager, I got that one LinkedIn message, and I said, yes, I am in touch with creator support. They haven't been able to help me. They just keep telling me to wait a few days and then try again. I have sent you an email with all of the details so far. I haven't heard from my partner manager since. That was Thursday afternoon. So the problem is it's getting near to Christmas, and so people are going on holiday, and so while there may theoretically be a human who can help me somewhere in the world, they might be on holiday. And if they are, there's nothing I can do about that. And obviously, YouTube aren't allowed to tell you that the person who can help you is on holiday and they will be back on X date, because that would be considered useful, and also you might shout at them or something. So they just keep vaguing at you and telling you to keep in touch with creator support, because that sort of keeps it out of the public eye. Anyway, it's still not working. Expressions of shock and surprise fail to pass across my face. Yes, is it from the original Aladdin movie, or is it Return of Jafar, where Iago says, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die of not surprise. That was basically me this morning. Is it because you're an independent creator with 500,000 followers? I mean, it doesn't, I don't think that the size of my following really matters. I think the size of my following might help me to get a faster resolution than someone who doesn't have that kind of platform. But they either can't or won't tell me what the problem is in the first place. If we knew what the problem was, then, we could try and fix it. But we can't, and the system won't tell us what the problem is either, and so here we are. Aladdin, there we go. The original Aladdin is one of his first lines. Okay, excellent. I tried to contact you some time ago to discuss an Arabic translation for Just Stab Me Now. What's the best way to get in touch? There is a contact form on my website, or if you go to Twix, that's Twitter or X or whatever, but I think Twix is just a better name for it. Like in my bio, it says, I don't post here anymore, but here's a form to get in touch with me. And that's the same thing that will get you, that'll email me, as it were. Yes, I went back on Twitter to discover that I had, a whole bunch of direct messages over the last 4 years. But I figure that some of them are probably duplicates of the things that people actually email to me. And if you can't go on someone's Twitter account, notice that they haven't posted for 2 years, and read the thing that says, if you need to get in touch with me, here is how you do it, link, then, probably it's not that urgent or important, But we'll find out. At least YouTube recommended this live stream to me. It's 1:37 in the morning, so I'm going to bed. That is very reasonable, but thank you for your prayers. I'm bored of this. I'm going for a drink. Here's a form to get in touch. Oh no, what could possibly go wrong? Twix, the biscuit company, is going to sue Till for defacement. Do you mean like defamation? I don't know. It's clearly not the same thing, because the X is a capital letter in my version. It's 4:30 in the Midwest, US. Quote commented your tweet. I appreciate that. Yes, so, I mean, so far, to be perfectly honest, the collective, the collective wisdom of my YouTube chat, and also just being live so that people can see what is happening, seems to be making more progress than anything else. But also, no actual progress has been made. What do you do? I bought a Twix the other day. Now I have no clue where it is. No, I haven't eaten it yet. I mean, yes, because if you'd eaten it, then you probably have a reasonable idea where it was. Good morning from the Isle of Man. Ah, nice. I have been to the Isle of Man one time in my life when I was 10, to one of those outdoor activity centres. As it turns out, if you send... I was a very picky eater as a child. And so I came home looking somewhat emaciated, because I did not notice that I wasn't eating enough, because I only ate the things that I liked, and there weren't very many of those. This was not the fault of the people at the outdoor adventure center. I was having a great time, but I came home and my mum was like, "Did you eat?" And I was like, "Of course I did. I ate bread and pudding and occasionally, soup, and sometimes there were chips. I eat like a normal person now, I would like to point out, but, Anyway, that is my Isle of Man. That's the only thing I remember about the Isle of Man. Also, I went canoeing and discovered... I think that was when I went canoeing and discovered that I'm really bad at canoeing. To avoid trademark issues, you could say Twittix. Say it fast enough that the second T kind of goes silent. There we go. What is happening with YouTube now? Nothing. That's nothing is what's happening, which is kind of the problem, because not only will they won't fix the problem, but they also won't even tell me what the problem is, and they just keep trying to palm me off onto creator support. I'm like, yeah, I'm already in touch with them. We can only email each other once a day because of the time zone differences, unless I'm willing to get up in the middle of the night, and they can't do anything. So, ignore if this is unhelpful. Have you tried contacting AdSense? Unfortunately, there's no way to do that except via the form. I suppose I could try tweeting them. But they haven't actually, tweeted anything since, 2022. So, let's see. Let's just add sense. There we go. Okay, we have now tried tweeting AdSense, because contacting them on their actual platform is basically useless, but contacting people on Twitter in public does seem to work slightly better. Who knows? I'm in Australia, and I have posted more messages on this chat in 11 minutes than they're apparently capable of doing in 24 hours. Admittedly, this is a lot easier, but even so, come on. There should be at least physical people on payroll in the building, like YouTube Space, London King's Cross. London King's Cross doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure they shut it down. London YouTube Space closed. Let's see. Yes. Berlin, London, Los Angeles, New York, Paris, Rio, and Tokyo locations are closing as of 2021, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, I fear that there is no one there. Or if they are there, they won't let me in, because I don't work there. Everyone just wants an echo chamber. X should embrace that, and your naming convention to form left Twix and right Twix. See, I figured that left Twix is blue sky, right? That was my impression of blue sky. Hello from a time zone that should probably be asleep. But then again, I've never been on Blue Sky, and I've been on Twitter. I've been on Twitter a lot in the last 7 days, but prior to that, not really since 2020. So, what do I know about Twitter culture, or Blue Sky for that matter? The only times I'm ever tempted to get Twitter are when I have a problem that only public shaming will help. Yes, yeah, that's what I'm finding too. I have no idea how AdSense works, but could you make a new account? No, because that is very definitely a terms of service violation, and they can ban you for that, which is a bit unfortunate. I like the Twix out with the bears. I've never... Blue Sky is for people who left Twix, so technically correct twice. There we go. Which is the one that's got the really complicated way of doing things? Is it... I mean, it might be Blue Sky, but is there one called Mastodon or something? And if every time someone tries to explain to you how it works, it just sounds like what I imagine me explaining how to use an iPad sounds like to, my mom or something. Like, well, all you have to do is skibbity dibbity doobity da, and then bibbity bobbity boo, and then that means that all of your strings are aligned in the Jeopardy way. Like, I don't know. I don't remember which social platform that is, but honestly, it could be all of them at this point. do you have any idea how inexplicably little that narrows it down? I use Mastodon and I don't know how it works. It's very unlike Twitter, more complicated because it's not designed to work like Twitter. That's fair enough. New merch idea, the YouTube hoodie. Yes, I am having... Listen, guys, I am having to delete so many comments, though, of people making references to an event which happened last week wherein a person was literally murdered, okay? We're not doing that. We're not talking about that, and we're particularly not talking about that, like, on a channel which has already been demonetized. Please don't get me in more trouble, okay? And also don't do crimes. I feel like that's good general advice. Generally doing crimes is a bad idea. Anyway, Mastodon is like something you'd be told about by door knockers. Hello, would you like to learn about the Fediverse? The Fediverse? Does that mean everybody on it is in like the CIA or something? Anyway, Blue Sky is essentially a Twitter clone. Blue Sky was the former internal experimental project of Twitter. Mastodon is a different one that is just as you described. Okay, it's Mastodon that's the bibbity bobbity boo. Sheer sense of achievement you get from getting it to do anything blinds you to the fact that you haven't got it to do anything useful. Okay. Can you turn the microphone? Yes, we can probably turn up the gain a little bit. No. Yeah. Oh, no, that's bad. That was bad. I was streaming with my patrons on Saturday, and I managed to unhook the entire microphone rig from the desk, which 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Anyway, Fediverse. Okay, that Fediverse because it's a universe of federated independent nodes. Okay, that's less cool than everybody on it is a secret agent, but probably more useful. Don't do crimes unless it's for attention on Twitter. No, don't even do crimes for attention on Twitter. That was actually pretty good. Is it like Tor? I don't know. Hold on. Let's see if we can turn it up a little bit more. That might help. Unfortunately, it keeps going red whenever I do that, and that tends to be a bad sign. So, you know. Google is not the serious cybernetics corporation, but the resemblance is striking. Yeah, isn't doing crimes for attention just called being an influencer? Only certain kinds of influencers. We do not aspire to that kind of thing. Though I hear it can make you a lot of money, you also have to make a lot of YouTube apology videos, and those are very boring. Also, you know, doing crimes can in fact get you in trouble with the real world police, as several people have been finding out in countries which are not the UK. Wasn't there a guy who was in, like, Korea? Or something? Or was it Japan? Possibly it was both. But it was definitely somebody who was jeffing around and finding out in one or both of those countries. See, now you're clipping. See, I knew it. Please turn your gain down. Stop listening to people asking you to turn it up. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to turn up your own headphones. You'd need to invest in a ukulele if you want to do a YouTube apology video. Korea, Japan, and Israel, Johnny Somali. That sounds familiar. I don't remember the Israel bit, but like, hey ho. Now arrested in Korea. Gracious. Johnny Somali got arrested in Japan, learnt nothing, and is now in bigger trouble in Korea. Okay, see, doing crimes for the purposes of influencing, or like internet influencing, is not a good idea. There we go. There are two kinds of people in this chat: those who are fans of Douglas Adams and get the reference, and people who should go read Douglas Adams. My volume is max and sounds tolerable, just a teeny bit quiet. Like, I don't know what to tell you, my friends. If I turn it up anymore, it starts clipping. That is not a good sign, really, but never mind. I suppose next time I can just put on the really terrible microphone, you know, the one that's in, like, the gaming headset headphones, and we'll see how that sounds. I mean, like, worse, but also maybe better in terms of volume? I don't know. Everyone should read Don't Adjust It Anymore. Like, yes, this is... I feel like there are two kinds of YouTubers, and that probably there are many more, but like you can also divide YouTubers into the broad categories of people who understand the tech just well enough to use it and people who really like it. And you should never let the people who really like it try and give you advice if you're a person in the former category, unless you explain to them beforehand that you are in the former category. And you're like, listen, I just need to know enough to make it work. If you start explaining things, it's gonna go poorly. Do I save my audiobook credit for Just Stab Me Now this month? Listen, I have no idea, and I would say don't, because I don't know when it's gonna be... I don't know when I'm gonna get the files back, and after I get the files back, I have to listen to them all through, and then I have to give any corrections that have to be done, and then after that I have to upload it to ACX or whatever you call it, and it can take it takes about 10 days apparently for YouTube to tell you if it's good enough for them to go on the ACX like Audible platform. So by the time we get to that, it's probably January already. So I would spend your Audible credit, and like, you know, maybe next month we'll have something. I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you, but I don't, so I can't. Good to catch you live. Nice to see you. Recommend against using gaming headphones microphone for anything. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I do use it. Well, I will. Since I am already set up, I will probably not use it tonight, but I often use it when I am playing D&D, which I am doing tonight. But since this is already set up, I will just be able to put my headphones on and go on Discord, and we're going to a uniform sanctuary? Oh dear, no. The party are going to a unicorn sanctuary. We've just arrived at a bunch of islands, and a giant bird, which apparently isn't Zapdos, has come along and, randomly struck things with lightning and then disappeared, and everyone's very worried about this, but the party have decided that we're going to a unicorn sanctuary. So, that probably tells you everything you need to know. I've been ill for the past week. I would prefer if you hadn't been demonetized, but it's been nice to have the stream, so you are welcome. To sit with while I die. Please don't die. I'm glad that we were able to keep you company, though. Do you have Ko-Fi so we can send one-off money in lieu of subscriptions? No, but, I could learn. Oh dear. This is what happens when I try and multitask. Bad things happen. I can learn what Ko-Fi is. It's got a dash in it, apparently. Donations and memberships. Get started. How does it work? Sign up free. Okay. Yep. Okay. That looks like a thing that's happening. See, now you're just watching me make weird faces, because obviously you can't see my screen. But here we are. many there are. I have a bunch of notifications. If you remove your glasses and squint, the person on the left-hand side of the poster looks like Prince. Okay, that's probably a bot. Anyway, never mind, I'm coming back to you now. I wonder if you get this resolved before Christmas. What is your class and race? So my race is human because when I joined the campaign, I did not get to pick that because I suppose I technically could have, but my friend who was also playing in the campaign was like, you can just play as my cousin. And I was like, okay, great. So that is what I signed up as. And I said I would like to be Evie from The Mummy if she had magic powers. And so I'm some kind of multi-class rogue/warlock. I'm a rogue/warlock who has failed spectacularly. I'm normally not a terrible dice roller, but I have failed every single religion check that I have ever made since starting playing in this campaign. And we have been playing, well, I've been playing in the campaign since something like 2020 or possibly 2021. So like 3 or 4 years have gone by and I've failed every religion check I've ever made. But, you know, we're finally near a place where my patron actually lives. So we might find out something about that in the near future. Who knows? Make sure you steal a unicorn. That is absolutely the sort of thing that would happen. I bet you find out you're a secret unicorn. Humans can have lots of things as cousins because D&D is weird. I mean, that's a fair point. Every religion check. I've never scored above... I have like a +1, and I don't think I've ever scored above a 6 on a religion check, which is quite funny. Especially since the D&D group was originally someone's like church house group, and they decided to play D&D on Discord during the pandemic. And then they just sort of kept randomly inviting people, including me. Choose interests. No. No. Do you want to do that? No. I don't know what that means. Please verify that you're a human and that your email address works. I can do that. I can probably do that. Here is your Ko-Fi page. Ko-Fi page? I don't know. No, it wants me to do something else. Okay, anyway. You I appreciate you all keeping me company while I try and do things. Why is your coat... Excuse me, miss. Why is your coat 5 sizes larger at naying? I do... my character does have, like, shrinking potion, though. Because my DM is, I won't say sadistic, but there was a world-saving thing that we had to do a while ago where Amelia, who is my character, went and asked for help from the Fae, and managed to get herself entangled, like promised an arranged marriage in exchange for the help, which... On the plus side, the world didn't end, but on the minus side, she now has a fiancé who is like 18 inches tall. The rest of the party think this is hilarious. And I was like, I said to my DM, did you introduce this plot point solely because you've been watching my fantasy heroine videos? And he said, yeah. Like, wow, thanks. Anyway... Your patron will greet you with a sour face and a wooden club. Look, when I described my patron to the DM, he was like, so what's your patron called? I can't remember. And I was like, I can't remember either because I told you 3 years ago. But basically my patron is Aziraphale from Good Omens. So slightly not, you know, giant angel possibly, but also slightly not with it. Doesn't really know what's going on, gave Amelia her magic powers and then just, like, naffed off. What is the canon reason? I don't know. Sadistic is a common GM trait. Is it not pronounced coffee? It's probably pronounced coffee. The best DMs are the ones that don't pull punches. It's true. Are you sure your bad rolls are you and not your dice? I mean, I'm using the D&D Beyond things, so... is the demonetization going to affect future cheese purchases? No, because people have been very kind and have been supporting my Patreon, which has been really good. And, oh, right, I should probably finish this coffee thing. He ended up getting it sorted by tweeting an actual named person. Okay, that is good to know. AI rolling for you. I mean, basically, but it seems to, you know, we seem to have a spread of different results for everything except the religion checks, apparently. Right. Okay. Where's this thing? Where did it go? Oh, there. Right. Oh no, I think I'm gonna have to faff about with PayPal now. Okay, it's fine. It's fine, I can do that. Probably. Anyway, in the meantime... have you seen the bizarre and surreal animated movie Unicorn Wars? No, I have not. Give the Tiny Groom a chance. Give the Tiny Groom a chance. It might be a star-blessed romance. The Tiny Groom is by far the sanest character in the entire universe. And I said that to the DM, who was like, "Yeah, you know, Amelia is by far the sanest character in the party. So, you know, I wanted to give you like someone sane to talk to." Like, that's so kind. The party are well on board with this whole arranged marriage shenanigans. Unfortunately, they are also massively unhelpful. To the point that I cast dissonant whispers on one of the other party members to get her to stop talking at the end of the last session, before we went to the Unicorn Sanctuary. So I don't know if she's going to be at the Unicorn Sanctuary or not. It's the Tiny Groom standing on your wedding cake. I would happily marry the Tiny Fae. Are you where you do not have to pay rent over there or buy groceries? I mean, that's a very good point. That is a good point. Cheese dice. I bet you can get cheese dice. I bet you can. I'm surprised Rosamund is not your D&D character. I mean, to be fair, I think Rosamund was invented after I started playing D&D. So Tiny Groom being the sanest one sounds like Minnie Cooper from D&D Honor Among Thieves. Which one is that? Anyway, right. Hold on. We gotta... No, that didn't work. That's supposed to have... Okay. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing the thing. Or we're trying to, anyway. Okay. I'm now having to do a thing which I haven't done in a long time, and it's, you know... What do I... Basically, it's asking me to sort of sign up to, you know, to have a coffee account. You have to have a place where people can send money, or you can send money from, as it were. And so it's asking me to add PayPal and things. This is not... That doesn't make sense. Don't you hate it when you ask it to do something and then it goes, and then it says, "Oh yeah, you do it like this," and then it's like, no, you can't. That's not how that works anymore. They have changed their user interface, and maybe it's that. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna. Nope. Definitely not that one. Anyway, let's close that and close that so we can watch. Could you join in MCN for a while so your videos are monetized until your AdSense is cleared? I mean, that is possibly. That's the best weird faces. Be careful not to accidentally say your details out loud while typing. Yes, that is definitely that is definitely a possible problem. Is the next campaign get a Rosamund, or is that too obvious or well trodden? I don't know, maybe. I mean, when I played Hogwarts Legacy, the character I made for Gryffindor was Rosamund, and then we've made a character for Hufflepuff that was originally going to be... Well, basically, I accidentally gave the character pink hair. I was trying to give her red hair, but because it's on the Switch, the colors aren't very good, and obviously you can't mod it because it's not PC. So I was like, that one sort of looks ginger, and then I saw it in proper light and went, oh, her hair is pink. Okay, well, she can be my Hufflepuff. So we have a Hufflepuff, and I went to Azkaban. I mean, all you get to do is see somebody make a rabbit and walk down a corridor, but, that was still reasonably interesting. We also have a Ravenclaw, but I had no hand in designing that one. That was Ursa Minor. At some point we will do a Slytherin playthrough, and I was like, well, we could be evil, but to be fair, like, we learned the unforgivable curses while we were in Gryffindor, because I figured you're just going... You can kill people with anything. Like, you can kill people with Bombarda, or Confringo. My personal favourite spell is Confringo, obviously. It is clearly the best one, but... I don't remember where I was going with that. Never mind. All right. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That might be it. That's not it. Okay. No. Okay. None of these seem to be okay, maybe that one. Sorry, this, I thought this was going to be, when you think that something's going to be quick and reasonably easy to do, and then, as it turns out, you are wrong. You're wrong. Aha, okay, we found it. We find the correct place. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. I mean, now I've managed to take myself off that other place. No. Connect to payments. Do that. I do not live in the United States of America. getting there. I'm getting there. Not, well, but, you know, we're, not quickly, perhaps, but... There we go. Right. You're all ready, it says, on coffee. Maybe. We'll see. What are you guys talking about in the meantime? Does coffee have an interface option to ask you to buy cheese instead of coffee? I mean, probably, but it's like, do you want to give us more of your money? No. Do you plan on streaming regularly? Not necessarily. But I do enjoy streaming. Like, I stream once a month for my sort of $5 plus patrons, and it's, you know, I enjoy myself. Usually I don't break off in the middle of those streams because they're only about 45 minutes long to try and sign up to new websites. But I mean, these are these are special circumstances, I think. Okay. Let people pay with this. Okay. I don't have a Stripe account, so, like, I'm not gonna start with that. No. Default to monthly donations. No, definitely don't do that. Nobody likes that. Become a contributor. No. Okay. 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 You can connect to your YouTube account. That seems like a reasonable thing to do, so that you know that it's me. Otherwise, when you manage your YouTube account, don't think I want you to do that. Never mind. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna put this in the chat, and you can tell me if it looks like it's working or not. Right. Okay. Please to be... Oh no, that doesn't work. Alright. That does not... That did not work. Or at least I can't click on it. But I can click on that. Replace pinned message. There we go. Alright. So, yes. Obviously, you can... sign up on Patreon if you want to, and you can give like once on Patreon and then immediately cancel it, or you can sign up as a free member, you know, in case the situation gets worse. But if you want to give a one-off donation, I now have a coffee account. There we go. I love Marmite, but when I try things with Marmite added, they always put in too much. Here's my thing about that, right? I may be strange, but I feel like Marmite is just okay. Like, I don't think I would choose to put it on stuff, but I don't think it's disgusting. I just, you know, I tried some once and went, Apparently this is unusual. Most people have, you know, strong opinions on Marmite, or at least that is what the branding would have you believe, but I do not have a strong opinion on Marmite. I think it tastes okay. It mostly tastes of salt to me. Hello. Hope your saga has a happy ending. Thank you. You're now what I wake up and watch. I'm hoping that eventually we'll get this sorted out, and so I will be back to, you know, making actual videos that have more rewatchability than whatever it is that we randomly talk about on these. Not that these aren't fun. I'm having a great time. I now understand why people stream on Twitch so much. Or whatever. I hate Marmite, but love Twiglets. Hi from Utah. I hope you have a good night's sleep. Marmite is meh. Vegemite is superior. I don't think I've ever had Vegemite. Congrats on finishing the audiobook. It's not done yet. Well, I mean, I hope that my contributions to it are done, but the actual files are not done yet. But I don't know when they will be. Ha! Oh well. We we find out David Mitchell went on a YouTube rant about Marmite's marketing being nonsense, which is fun to watch. Got one of my American friends into Marmite. I told him to treat it as if it cost the same as printer ink when applying. Yeah, see, that probably works. Okay. Let's see if we can, Someone supported you. Two people supported me, thank you very much. Someone is following you. I don't know what that means, but that sounds great. Wow, your first coffee. It did the little thing where they put confetti on the screen. That's nice. You have new emails. Great. All right. It's all fine. Probably. Huh. Okay. You can do... Yes. Okay. We did the thing. We did that thing. And we did this thing. And now we can delete that thing. And I have 5 emails that says someone supported you on coffee. So that's pretty cool. But it doesn't actually tell you. It just sends you an email that's like, hey, someone sent you a message or sent you a donation. It's like, oh, awesome. What's the donation and what's the message? Like, we're not going to tell you that. You have to come back onto our platform so that you can find out. Like, oh, okay. Anyway. Oh, good gracious. Thank you. Some of you are insane people, but thank you. I appreciate it very much. Anyway, I'm a little bit speechless. Okay, sorry. I'm going to have to think of something else to say now because thank you seems a bit inadequate. Thank you very, very much. You're very nice people. Hello from Australia. Hello from Istanbul. It's cloudy, rainy midday here. I see now all I can think of is the Muppets song about Istanbul. And I don't even know all of it. Only the line that everybody knows. But that's at least with words are hard. Have they told you why they blocked you yet? No, that would be useful information, and we could possibly do something with that to, fix the problem. No, they did, however, give me one piece of useful information. I got on Friday from my YouTube creator support emailing person, who has been my constant companion these last 7 days. Well, not over the weekend, because... he or she said, just give it a couple of days and then try it again. So I thought, well, I'll just take the weekend and I'll try it again on Monday. I mean, I think that was just so that they didn't have to talk to me over the weekend. But, I said, listen, I have a theory about what the problem is because I have a business AdSense account and I have a personal AdSense account, but there seems to be a third AdSense account associated with this email address, and that's against the terms of service. So here are the 3 things. Could you look into that? And I got an email back and it said, don't worry about that, because yes, you have a business AdSense account and that's fine, and you have a personal AdSense and that's fine, and you do have this third one, but it was closed some time ago. I don't even remember that happening. Maybe it broke or something, or maybe they told me I needed to update it, but apparently I did in fact, they do know things. They do know things. So I was like, is this the problem? And no, it's not. Do we know what the problem is? They never answer that question. But at least it's not that problem. So, that's one thing. The Muppet song, Istanbul, Not Constantinople, is originally by Jimmy Kennedy in 1953. There you go. Good morning from Michigan, 5:20 a.m. in upstate New York. Some of you get up very early. Thank you, Jamie. apparently filling out a form on a different browser can work in some cases. I did try that this morning because I thought to myself, and I do have a lot of browsers. I collect them like some people collect cats, apparently. I don't have Opera and I don't have Firefox, but I've got a lot of the other ones. But I did try it on a different browser today, and I got the same message. I even tried it on Chrome because I thought Chrome is Google's browser, so clearly they'd like that one better than the others. But no, that was not the case. Or go to bed very late. I mean, that's true. Maybe the browsers are like Pokemon, gotta download them all. They're all useful for different things. Clearly. Netscape is Firefox. Get Firefox and ditch the rest. No, I like all of my other ones. Have you tried clearing your cache? It rarely works, but it gives you the impression that you're doing something. Yeah, must be extra hard and slow to reach a human right now because it's the holidays in the USA. I do believe that is the case. Everybody's gone off to, their homes to spend time with their families and enjoy themselves and all that sort of thing, which is good, but only the AI remains. Yeah. I haven't thought of Netscape Navigator in years. Apparently my job might be bankrupting next year, so I need to chat with my boss. Okay, I hope that goes better than it sounds like it's going for you. And see you later. I'm off work for 4 weeks myself. That's pretty good. Like, around here, you only get 2 weeks for schools, and they get 2 weeks for Christmas. Though I suppose if you're universities, they have already stopped, so there's that. I'm confused. Whereas my work could barely give me 4 days. That sounds less than good. The nice thing about working for oneself is that one can technically go on holiday whenever one likes. The unfortunate thing about that is that, because there's only me, then that just means that whatever you were supposed to be doing doesn't actually get done. So you have to decide whether or not you're going to get it done or not. But people tend to be reasonably reasonable if you're like, hey, I will not be here for the next 2 weeks. Especially because once channels get bigger, people don't expect you to respond to comments or to read them as much, which is fair, because in some cases there's no way that one person could keep up with all of the comments that come in on a channel. When I have a video that does very well very quickly, that tends to happen. Like, you wake up in the morning and it's just like pages and pages, and you're like, it's fine. But yeah, you can say, I will see you in January, and that works out okay, and people just do their thing in the comment section. I mean, a lot of people do get unreasonably, like the poor cheese person that we were discussing the other day. Some people do get their comments held unreasonably, but I fish them out. As long as you fish them out within 60 days, it's fine. Those leopards sure are eating a lot of faces lately. Is the face-eating leopards party? I feel like that's I feel like that's not. Sorry, that was my most recent comment. The face-eating leopard party is different to the plans can be found in a disused toilet with a sign on it saying "Beware of the leopard." I feel like it's from somewhere else, but I don't know where, and I might be wrong about that. Okay, let's close a few of these tabs. We don't need all of these tabs. Clearly, we don't need all of these tabs. I'm trying to open coffee to tell me things, but it's I haven't quite worked out where everything is. But hey, we're here and we're all good. So I just realized that I went through all of the tabs and then I was on the wrong browser, and that's why it wasn't working. Because I use Chrome for live streaming, because it doesn't work on Safari, I think, at all. So we don't. Leopard's eating people's faces party is from 2015 and about politics. There we go. Lies, you do need all the tabs. Oh, just open another window so you can have more tabs. Oh dear. You can't stay long. I have to drive for 8 hours in a bit. I'm praying you get your monetization back. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, definitely go to sleep. If you have to drive places. Close tab. What is this radical concept you speak of? Where can we get the audiobook once it's actually out? It will be on ACX, so it will be on Audible. It will be on Patreon. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that, but like, you can sell things on Patreon, and that includes audio files. So we can probably just, sell you a zip file of all of the audiobook chapters. Right? Maybe? Supposedly? On the subject of the book, I have got... Oh, right. Somebody said yesterday, and they're probably not here, but somebody said to me a couple of days ago that they can't, changing the font doesn't work on the audiobook, not the audiobook, on the ebook. They're like, I wanted to use the Open Dyslexic font, and I tried to change it, and it changes a bit of it, and then it doesn't change the rest. And that is true, but only on Kindle. If you have it on Apple Books, and you change it to Open Dyslexic font, it changes everything. If you try it on Kobo, which is normally an absolute nightmare for formatting, and you're like, hey, give me a different font, it will change everything. It's only on Kindle that the formatting breaks, and the only thing that goes into the new font is Rosamund's World. So if you're having trouble and you want to change the fonts, the Kindle EPUB file is just an EPUB file. There's no DRM on it, or there shouldn't be. So you can open it in another program, like Calibre or Apple Books, or even Kobo if you're really desperate. And if you do that, then you should be able to change the font for everything, so it should be easier to read. There we go. Yeah, audiobook is coming. Audiobook is coming. When? Do we know? No. Do we even have an estimate? Also no. But when I know, you will know. When I know, you will know. Have a great day. Thank you, Sean. I will see you soon. Thanks ever so much for yawning. Now I can't stop. I'm sorry. Not me searching in my 50 to 100 tabs for that one I need. I have a terrible habit of doing this if I have... Like, I will just have this single window, which is 30 tabs of things I am researching for one video. It would be best if I could keep them all in... it's better if I keep them all in one browser, but then sometimes I open up random things in that, and then I go through and I'm like, why is this open? I don't need this. But hey. On the audiobook, you can change the accent, of course. I saw a sort of a thing the other day, which was about audiobook narrators being replaced with AI, and I thought, that is, that's definitely going to be a thing that's going to be happening more and more, I think. But what I thought was that that's especially going to be true in the sort of self-help non-fiction space, because if you listen to a self-help non-fiction style of book, the way that they are narrated already sounds like AI to me. And so it's going to be relatively easy for people who have AI voices that they're going to put in instead of a real person to say that we're going to go and talk like this, obviously with a slightly more American accent, but they emphasize every word just like this, and it sounds faintly unnatural, like you're actually a robot. And so, if you... I can't tell the difference between a real person doing that and a robot doing it, because the intonation is exactly the same. Like, it's faintly uncanny, regardless. I think it will take longer for people to be replaced by robots for things where you have to know what the sentence means, because it will just sound bad otherwise. But, maybe I'm wrong about that. After the audiobooks, crowdsourced audio play or radio play volunteers. That sounds fun. You found the notice, didn't you? Yes, I did. It was on display in the bottom of a locked filing cabinet stuck in a disused lavatory with a sign on the door saying, "Beware of the leopard." Thank you. There we go. That is the full quote, if any of you are wondering where "Beware of the leopard" came from. At some point, when you open more and more tabs, they become so small the only bit of them you can click on is the X to close tab. Where are we? This book should only be read in Bembo. I don't know what that means. Even Kobo if you're really desperate. No truer words. Well, I opened, when I did the first round of it, I opened the ebook that my typesetter had sent me in basically everything I could get my hands on, which included Kobo, and I was like, why is Kobo so weird? And my typesetter went, look, it's at some point it's just Kobo. They're just not very good. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. But it looks fine. It's very workable in Kobo now, which is good because my typesetter is, excellent. But yes, I sent a bunch of like minor changes so that the ebook and paperback and hardback now all say basically the same thing. Which includes, one word which is a continuity error. It says 3 and it should be 4 or something. Like a couple of things where that's a capital letter and it should be a small letter because we're using UK English grammar rules, not US English. And like one typo, but I figure, if you have the sort of first edition of the book, as it were, if you find the typo, you're like 15 pages from the end, so probably you're not going to bother about it too much. Anyway, so I opened it in all of the things and went, funny enough, you can change the font to Open Dyslexic in, you can change the font in Apple Books, not to Open Dyslexic, because it only lets you do a certain number of them. You can change it in Kobo to whatever you want, and it works. But in Kindle, it's just like, no, you can change half of the font. Not this other kind, though. Not the other kind, just this. So strange. No time to watch, but popping into show support, appreciate it. I had to take a look at my mother's Kindle Fire the other day. She hadn't closed a tab or browser window in many months. Do we have an estimate of when the estimated time of the... No. At this point, 2025. Somewhere in that year. I hope I hope next month. But I don't know. And I have no, I have no way of knowing. Opera has tab groups. You can expand or contract. Speaking of fonts, I've had this question since the day the book released. What typefaces did you use? I couldn't recognize a couple, and that has bothered me endlessly. I don't know, but I can look it up because it's right, hold on. There's probably a better way to do this because my typesetter portfolio put a couple of the pages of the book onto his website. There we go. Okay, here it is. Just Stab Me Now. One of the most typographically complex novels I've ever seen. Bless that man. So we've got Monster Clubhouse, which I think is the Just Stab Me Now font. Like the title. ITC New Baskerville. I think ITC New Baskerville is Rosamund's World, Grad, and Proxima Nova Condensed. I think Proxima Nova Condensed is the text messages. I'm not sure what Grad is. Grad font. Don't know. But I hope that helps. Let me see if there are any. TNR. What's TNR? I don't know. Nope, not a clue. Oh well. I hope that helped at least a little bit. I thought I was going to be able to like list other things too, but no. You need to consult the wisdom of all fonts. As a browser abuser, I have 27 different Firefox windows open. Each one has a minimum of 50 tabs. Oof. That's a lot. That's a lot, guys. I'm just saying. Is that tea, coffee, or scotch? It's water. It's water. Bamboo is a beautiful, old-looking font, easy to read and dyslexic-friendly. There you go. Now I know. There's a channel that used their own voiceover as the AI narration. It mispronounced a word that the owner wouldn't have made that mistake. That's really interesting. I like, concerning, but interesting. We would know because she doesn't respond to every prompt and occasionally responds more than once to the same prompt. On Kindle, you can change the vowels of the consonants, but not both. Are you considering translating your book into other languages? Short version, no. Long version, like, I am open to selling the right to translate it into other languages to another company, but there would be to a company who does that, or at least, you know, the right to translate the book into a specific language to a company that does that. But there is no way that would be a money-making proposition for me to do, because I can't market in any language other than English, and it would cost me a significant amount of money to pay a translator. So, like, the break-even point would be a significant number of books in the other language, but I have no way to market in that other language, and so no way of making those sales, basically. So it's very unlikely we will get any translated books, but you never know. You never know. Gotta go back to sleep. Good night. Good night. What's the update? There isn't one. They keep telling me to fill in a form. They then told me to wait a couple of days and then fill in the form again. I've tried filling in the form on different browsers. It still doesn't work. Nothing has happened in 7 days. They've told me to fill in a form. When that didn't work, they told me to wait a couple of days and then fill it in again. No one will tell me what the problem is. I just have to continue shaming them publicly until someone does something. Unfortunately, everybody's going away for their Christmas holidays now, so this might not get if it doesn't get resolved in the next week, it's probably not going to get resolved until January. You know, like, realistically, she said, searching for the word. You couldn't translate it yourself into what? From English into English, you know. Don't bother translating it into the Scandinavian languages. We all speak English. I have a friend who taught herself English because she really wanted to read the original Lord of the Rings. There you go. But hear me out. Have you tried filling out the form? Yeah. The Department of Redundancy Department strikes again. What about self-translation? I mean, it doesn't... Don't you speak German? Not well. Not well. And definitely not well enough to, you know, translate an entire book. But hey-ho. From English to Scottish English, then translated to Australian. There are some languages where the translators do it for free to try and promote the language. There you go. Did not know that. Google Translate. You could use Google Translate. What could possibly go wrong? Yep. Have you considered turning this event into another story? I think it will make I hope it will make a very amusing series of YouTube videos when it's done. Or maybe just one YouTube video, which is a long skit of me increasingly banging my head off the, what do you call it? The keyboard. But... hey, what can you do? You could translate it into 404 server not found. Yeah, I tried to... I've been trying to log into AdSense and it just gives me a 403. Like, you can't access that page. Sorry. That's all we know. Like, thanks for that. Bespoke bad Deutsch edition coming soon. This week is the week to furiously finish your work. Next week is the USA holiday. Good to know. What if someone volunteered to translate your novel for free? Like, sure, I would be open to, considering that. Why not? Just stab me now in the original Klingon. Are you planning ever picking up a season 2 of the Fancy Heroine shorts? I mean, if I think of something which I think would... If I thought of another idea which would support another Fantasy Heroine short, I would do it. And if I thought of more which would support a series of shorts, then I would do it. But since I feel like I haven't finished the first book yet, because we still haven't finished the hardback, there's no hardback edition yet, there's no audiobook edition yet, I can't think about any other thing until I finish the first thing. And the first thing is not finished and is taking a while. The hardback, at least, I don't really know what to do with the cover of the hardback. The typeset of the hardback should be with me sometime early next year. Because I said to my typesetter, he was like, I can get it done in... I was like, listen, please don't hurry. Don't rush yourself. Because I don't have a cover. And so, I'm not in a rush for it. But I'm like, do we just do the same cover again? But hardbacks have, if you buy them on Ingram Spark, so if you buy them in a bookshop, then they have a cover, like a jacket. And if you buy them on Amazon, they don't have a cover, like there is no jacket. And so I'm wondering, do you then need 2 versions of the same thing, or do you just do it once, but also you have a cover that you have to design separately, or something like that? 403 is forbidden. Yeah, I am forbidden. It's yeah. Never underestimate how difficult translating is. Also very true. 402 is cheese. Sci-fi, but then we trade courses for booing boobily. To be fair, they do that in fantasy too, so that just happens everywhere. First we didn't exist, now we are forbidden. I would count that as an improvement. I mean, that's true. Although, to be fair, it's both at once. I both don't exist, do exist but don't have a problem, and am forbidden. So just, everything at once. Jill channeling her inner Steve Jobs today. It's true. I have a large collection of black polo neck jumpers. And when I worked in an office job, in the spring and summer, I basically wore a shirt with a collar and a pair of trousers and brogues. My like brogues from Clark's, because you can get them in all sorts of different colors. I've heard them referred to as primary school teacher shoes, because all primary school teachers really like them because they're smart enough for work and they come in different colors, so you get variety, but also they're really comfortable. And in the autumn and winter, the look was basically if Steve Jobs were going to ride a horse. So it was like knee boots and black jeans and a black polo shirt, a black polo neck. Yeah. HTTP 14. I'm a teapot. Caroline can't decide on the perfect contender for the cover art. She can have both. Well, there is that. Join 2 if Steve Jobs are going horse riding. I assume you've had a ton of suggestions for armor sets reviewed. Do you prefer sets you can discuss or sets you can viciously mock the most? Both. Like, my favorites are the ones... Like, I have two kinds of favorites depending on the day. I love the ones which are just so bad that you wonder why. Except you know why, really. But I do also really like the ones which look really great, but also just don't kind of work. So, people get... Like, Baldur's Gate 3 people are they're very into Baldur's Gate and are also very thirsty. But I was told by somebody, like, why did you pick the bad sets from Baldur's Gate 3? And I was like, because I've never played Baldur's Gate 3. So I just pick what I don't pick it. I'm just given it. And I go, that is hilarious. Let's do that. So they said, what about Dame Aelin? And so I looked at it. And I thought, look how much work they've put into this. Look how they've got little straps to attach, the tassets to the cuirass and everything. And then I thought, I'll just go look at a cutscene. This looks, like I see some kind of weird problems with it, but it looks mostly pretty good. And then I watched a cutscene, and everything in the armor set is made of rubber. And so the tasset, which is, think of a piece of metal about this big, and it's attached to the sort of breastplate thing by means of a little strap, and it's supposed to sort of flap up and down, but it sits on your thigh, and it protects you from strikes to the sort of top of the leg kind of area. When the character moves, it doesn't sort of flap up and down. It bends like it's made of cloth. And I was like, oh, like you put so much effort into this, guys, and then you didn't make it move correctly. But why? So anyway, that will be the subject of an armor review next year, I'm sure. I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 while listening to this, and that does irritate me. Yeah, it's like someone designed this, and they clearly, they put a lot of effort into it. They don't really know how legs work, or at least not how leg armor works, because the Dame Aelin one also has bands of metal which wrap around her leg, which is, I mean, if you're not riding a horse, it's not like the worst thing, but it's not, there's a reason that normally the back of your leg just isn't covered by a hunk of metal. Like, that's important for, like, the moving and the sitting down and such like. Yeah. But it's an interesting set, put it like that. Let's see. YouTube has the right to run ads on your videos even if you're not monetized yet. That is correct. However, because I have previously been monetized and I'm not anymore, at the moment, they're not running any ads on my videos. So you can probably listen to this entire live stream and not see any ads on it at all. And even once we do get monetized, I might turn off the monetization on the live streams, just because sometimes you just want someone to talk at you about nothing in particular for an hour and a half or 45 minutes on double speed while you clean the oven or whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, I know that that's what I want, and therefore I assume that there is a market for that somewhere. Video game armor can't be rigid without either clipping or running intra-object physics. It sounds like they put in extra effort to do it wrong. I'm a YouTube premium member. Do you still get residuals from that when demonetized? No, YouTube will give me zero money in any way, shape, or form. So no YouTube premium, no ad money, no YouTube memberships, no super chats, as you will probably have noticed. YouTube, no. Everyone skips the ads on the live stream unless they're doing something like vacuuming and they can't get to the skip button. It's so true. Like, I mean, we skip the ads on everything, right? If the ad is skippable, then we skip the ad. But sometimes your phone is on the charge in a different room and you have to go and find it or something, and it's just... Do you get more suggestions for single-player games or MMOs when it comes to video games? I remember you had an extensive bit on Guild Wars Elementalist Armor in one of your videos. I think I get more... I get more suggestions for single-player games, I think. I don't object to ones from MMOs or anything else, but I do like having ones where people send you like pictures which have the front and the sides and the back, or like a little animation or something where it spins it the whole way around. Those are always good. Are they still running ads? Well, I mean, they're not running ads on my video. I wouldn't mind an ad here or there to support a streamer, but the amount of ads is seriously getting out of control. It's true. It's true. You mentioned fanfics. Where can someone, where can an older person like me find them to read them? What fanfic are you talking about? Like Just Stab Me Now fanfic? Because I'm pretty sure that is mostly on Archive of Our Own, which is AO3 dot something AO3 archiveofourown.org. There we go. If you look at World of Warcraft, most of the armor is more like a skin than actually armor, at least in look and things like pauldrons. Forgive the spelling; it's nearly 3 a.m. I mean, it's almost, you're most of the way there. It just it's pauldrons with an O, not an I, and then you're good. Brain stops working well at that time. Listen, mine stops working after about 9 p.m. I once saw a writer's daily schedule, which, it was get up, answer correspondence, eat breakfast, do writing, eat lunch, do more writing. And but what I liked about it was it said, 9 p.m., anything I do after this point will be very stupid and we don't talk about it. So yeah, that's yep. You have received 32 cups of coffee according to the link. Question: will you ever be able to sleep again? I once got a phone call from my mum. We talk quite often, so this is not unusual, but she said, I have been having this weird problem where I keep waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, this is several years ago, and I said, oh, that is strange. I said, are you stressed? Are you worried about anything? And she said, no, just, I go to sleep at the normal time, and that's fine. And then I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and there I am, awake. It's very strange. And I went, oh, right. A couple of months after this, we were talking again, and she said, I think I worked out what the problem was with the sleeping. And I said, okay. And she said, yeah, well, I was working, it was back when she worked at a school, and she discovered that because she had been drinking coffee instead of tea, she had been drinking something like 7 cups of coffee a day. And that this was... that was probably why she had been consistently waking up at 4 a.m. because she was wired from all of this caffeine. So she was like, I've just gone back to tea, and now it's fine. So, yes. There was something. Archive of Our Own. There is no algorithm and no adverts because it's a non-profit. That is true. How do we find that? Let me give you a link to Archive of Our Own. archiveofourown.org. No, it doesn't work, does it? Because you have to put the HTTP. There we go. No such thing as too much caffeine. I beg to differ. I do. Okay, you've now received 32 cups of coffee. That's a lot of coffee. There's also a top supporters, which is weird because I don't really, everyone has, you can give different amounts, right? And some people have, and it's strange and humbling, and I appreciate it very much. But I don't know what that even means. Anyway, but like, why is it telling people that about you? That's just weird. Why would it tell people that? Anyway, what does one do? Except say thank you very much, and also check Twitter to see if anybody has, if anybody from YouTube has said anything. No is the answer, because of course not. On the other hand, I appreciate people like tweeting at people I know, because I don't know anybody's Twitter, because I don't Twitter or Twix. Anyway. Oh, did I put the link in? I can't remember. There's a leaderboard for supporters so we can compete. Yes, that just seems kind of weird to me. I appreciate all of you. I'm just saying. I started in campus dining as a barista 20 years ago. I'm well acquainted with coffee zombies. I had too much caffeine yesterday. Iced Reese's peanut butter mocha espresso. Sorry, I don't really like coffee, and I don't like peanut butter, and so that sounds like a terrible combination. But my heart rate was uncomfortably sitting at 100. Yeah, that does sound unfortunate. Do you have or plan to build a Discord server? I think I'm on like 4 different Discord servers, but I don't really know how it works. I just go on it and click on the right button and then play D&D mostly. So possibly at some point, but I don't, I'm not sure if there are enough people who would like that to make it worthwhile, and also how it's moderated, if you get my meaning. Drinks that have too many words in the name are always a concern. Every time you say Twix, I think of the chocolate bar, and I think this is evil of you because I don't want to go all the way downtown to buy some, but I also now want one. Sorry, my bad. If not coffee, then what tea? If you drink that, I drink tea in order to be polite. I mean, rooibos tea is all right. I have a Pucka Teas one that's like peppermint and licorice. That's pretty good, but mostly I just don't bother. I just boil the kettle and then have hot water. Because I'm lazy, but also sometimes you just want something that is hot. Oh, the aisle moved on. I'm a Discord mod for several official servers if you need help. I appreciate that. There's a Sword Lady Discord. There is not a Sword Lady Discord. There are just Discords which I am a part of. Wait, is there? I miss LiveJournal. Fair. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, my bad. I got confused between Discord and Reddit. There is a Sword Lady Reddit, r/Sword Lady. I am also not on Reddit, but it is run by a person who I know. Well, we've never met in person, but I mean I know they're a real person and not a loony. Within the bounds of they know me and are therefore not a loony. Like it's maybe borderline, but the r Sword Lady Reddit does exist if you are a Reddit person. 10 p.m. and it's still 32 degrees outside. Ouch. That's yep. You can get caffeine poisoning. I mean, that sounds bad. I mean, surely you can get anything poisoning, right? You can technically poison yourself with water if you drink enough of it. I think. Okay, let's get rid of all of those. Cool. Okay. Did you try Yorkshire tea? That's what we have, I think, at the moment, because I bought a really big box of it because it was on offer, and also, it's decent, and it is an interesting cultural quirk that in the UK, if someone comes over and you don't have tea to offer them, even if you don't like or drink tea yourself, that's kind of a faux pas. So, we have tea, and also instant coffee. But you have to tell people that it's instant coffee. I mean, mostly they don't mind if they're asking for coffee in a stranger's house, like they're rolling the dice on that. But we do have both. We also have a whole bunch now of different kinds of herbal teas because we have people over for board games, and sometimes they bring boxes of tea with them. So there you go. I have so many notifications, all of the notifications, and they are very confused. Sorry, I'm just looking at my email inbox, and I've just received, and I'm not even joking, an email from my partner manager. But what I mean is, I have received a newsletter email from my partner manager. You know, the kind that she probably wrote several weeks ago and has scheduled to go up now. So I have received a communication from my partner manager, just you know, not one that would actually help. Oh well. Oh, YouTube. In South Hampshire in the UK, our water could be used for building material. It's that hard. Only way to make decent tea is with a filtered jug. Yeah, I used to live in Canterbury, and the water there is extremely hard. Not as hard as like London, but you know, I was once asked, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Descaling my kettle." This to someone who lives in Belfast. What? I said, you know, when your kettle gets all full of lime scale and you have to boil it with like lemon juice or vinegar and water inside to get the sort of crusty, fluffy white deposits off it. They'd never had to do this. Their kettle was like 15 years old and had, you know, the water is just quite soft in the part of Belfast that they live in, apparently. And so they'd never had to do this. And their kettle was totally fine. Like, I bet you don't get, you know, like huge amounts of mold in your shower either. How dare you? The automated version of my partner manager does indeed exist. But hey, vinegar kettle clears the sinuses. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I lived in halls my first year at university, and so there were rooms all around it, and then there was sort of a big common room in the middle. And I once came into the common room quite late at night, back when I still could stay up late, to two of the chaps who lived in my halls pouring Tesco value vodka into a kettle and then turning the kettle on in order to like inhale the steam or like put the vodka into their eyeballs or something. Why? I don't know. I think why not would probably be what they would have said if you had asked. But why? Grew up on bore water. It was easier just to get a new kettle. Yeah, fair. Better not to ask. That sounds safe. Yeah, because students, exactly. Oh dear. In Australia, in one city, is basically a requirement to have building level water softeners. That's probably, you know, useful if the water is very hard. Just, you know. Eyeball steaming. Yes, eyeball steaming. Like, why? How? What? Who knows? I must sign off to go to work in special education the week before winter break. I hope that your week goes better than you think it's going to. Like, if it could go well in just the general sense, that would also be good. But I hope that it at least goes better than you think it's going to. Because last week of term is an interesting time. I had a roommate in halls who would dry bread on the radiator randomly. No idea what it was used for, but hey ho, that is a great question. Like, maybe they wanted toast but not not like proper toast? Who knows? Hey ho. Why would you need to dry bread? It's already dry. Yeah, slow cooked toast. Exactly. Slow cooked toast. Very, very slowly. Who knows? What can you do? Anyway. Update for those of you who are just joining us. Welcome. There are 404 people currently watching, even though it is 11 o'clock in the morning UK time, which is possibly, I don't know, it may be the worst possible time for live streaming in terms of people who are awake enough to be on the platform, at least for my audience. But I appreciate you all being here. I very much do. The update is there is no update. The last thing I was told on Thursday, excuse me, the last thing I was told on Thursday was that I should wait a couple of days because the form that I had been told that I needed to fill in order to progress in any way was not working for me. It kept sending me an email saying, you have filled in this form. Unfortunately, that form isn't going to work for you for one of the following 5 reasons. None of the 5 reasons seem to make any sense for my situation. But they said, yeah, just wait a couple of days and then try it again. So I did, in fact, wait a couple of days. I took the weekend and off I went and did whatever. I set up my sewing machine. Fred Weasley, who is over in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, but I might move the camera in a minute. And yeah, so I thought I'll try a different browser as well today, but no, I get the same response regardless. So I tweeted at YouTube and they were like, are you in touch with creator support? I'm like, yes, they keep telling me to do this thing. This is the 10th time I've tried, having taken a couple of days off trying because they told me to. It's still not working. And I'm not going to get a response from my YouTube support person until at least 9:30 tonight because they're in a completely different time zone to me. Hey ho. In the meantime, today somebody told me that I should start a coffee, like I look at it and it says ko-fi, like hi-fi or lo-fi, right? But it's meant to be coffee, right? Because it's got a little cup. But you can buy me a coffee. And that is the link that is pinned at the top. Because if you would like to give a one-off donation, then that is the best way to do it, apparently. Like, not as opposed to Patreon, which is like a monthly recurring thing. I mean, technically you can just cancel it after, a day or a month or whatever. But yeah. Unrelated, if you have become a patron and you have the Kindle version of my book and you're like, I want to change the font and I can't, you need to download the version of the book that's on, that's in Patreon, or just use the one that you have. But either way, you need to download the version of the book that's in Patreon and open it in something that's not the Kindle app, and then you'll be able to change the font to whatever you want. Probably there are like 3 people who this is relevant for, and they're probably not watching, but we do our best. Fred or Thread Weasley. Either is acceptable, because that is indeed the pun. I'm alone in the office, keeping up bookkeeping. See, that's what I like to listen to people, live streaming or having live streamed, or just like very long videos while I am doing my accounts as well. Definitely not watching while I work. It's fine. Good point, forgot to hit the like button. Oh, we can do the thing. Hang on, I'm gonna do the thing where you can make a little heart and then the little heart appears on the screen. Sometimes. 12:07 a.m. in New Zealand, I didn't want to miss it. To be fair, you can always catch us on the replay if you need to go to bed. I also am multitasking. Quote. Yes, there are some very heavy air quotes around that one, Ekage. Making a coffee before getting some Christmas shopping done. Students are still very strange. I'm glad to know that. Your sewing machine is named Fred Weasley. Well, Thread Weasley, but also Fred Weasley, if you have a tendency to turn your thuzz into fuzz, which, many people do. Um, where are we? Thread Weasley, Anakin Skywalker. It actually did do hearts. There we go. Oh no, not again. The pictures on my wall. Okay, so we've got. Oh, there's an email address you can mail EPUB files to and load them onto your Kindle. Otherwise, get a free copy of Caliber to do the conversion. Yes, I do recommend Caliber. Caliber is great. So on my wall, from let's see, let's move it this way a bit. Hang on, actually, let's start by moving it this way a bit. But I'm gonna have to click into a different window. Hang on, we're gonna lift it up. Okay, so over there, the thing that looks like a bread box is actually my new sewing machine, but it comes with a fancy cover, which is very exciting. That is Thread Weasley and my sewing box. And then over here, we've got some pictures. So the one that is nearest my head, the one that is beside my ear, is from a convention that I did not attend, and I know nothing about it, but it contains lots of little fighty-looking characters. I don't really know. The one that is... in the middle at the top, we have my YouTube play button, which I have stabbed repeatedly. Below that, we have a little square thing, which just has little... It has brooches in it, little theatre brooches, so like the happy, sad faces. A couple of those. The one below that to the... the one that has a TARDIS in it, the one that's sort of beige, that is the 10th Doctor running away from the TARDIS. The one directly across from that is Belfast, like the sort of blue and whitish one on the bottom. That's a bunch of things you can find in Belfast, like the Harland and Wolff cranes and the Titanic Quarter and that weird statue with the hula hoop and that other weird sculpture with the fish. If you've ever been to Belfast, then you've probably seen those, but, you know, if you haven't, then it's not going to make much sense. And then the black and white one above that is a letter, and it says, "I am half agony, half hope," which is a quote from Persuasion, in which they send a letter. Wentworth sends a letter to Anne Elliot, and it contains the line, "I am half agony, half hope." Because, you know, I think you might actually be in love with me still, and oh gosh. It's, you know, Persuasion is a good book, and I do recommend it. It's not as funny as Pride and Prejudice, so if you like funny, then I would recommend Pride and Prejudice over Persuasion, but, you know, still a good book. There we go. Right. Where are we? Persuasion is a book you grow into, I think. That's, yeah. Did stabbing the YouTube play button violate the terms of service? I mean, if it did, then I violated the terms of service several years ago, and they didn't notice until now. Everyone loves Pride and Prejudice when you're younger, but the angst of Persuasion just draws you in. That's fair. Persuasion is gorgeous. The humor is still there, but not as prominent. Yes, that's very much it. It's like it's not that it doesn't have funny moments. It's just that, you know, it's telling a different story. Where are we? On the internet. I still can't get into Emma. Yeah, no, I never. You have to like Emma to do it. You have to like Emma to like the book Emma. And if you don't like the book if you don't like the character Emma, then you're not going to like the book. It's a bit like, you know, the Cornetto trilogy. And you've got Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and At the World's End, or At World, whatever that one's called. I keep getting it confused with the Pirates of the Caribbean one, which sounds a bit similar. If you don't, at least, you don't necessarily have to like Shaun, but you do have to at least sympathize with him. But he's relatively sympathetic, right? So I quite like Shaun of the Dead. I really like the sort of Nicholas Angel, Danny kind of buddy cop duo. You've never seen Bad Boys 2? I've never seen Bad Boys 2, actually, but, you know, that's not the point. So that one's my favorite. And then the one about the pub is... I just don't like that character, the character that Simon Pegg plays. And so I'm like, of all of those, the Cornetto movies, I just... Like, Like, I don't like you. I just don't like you very much. You don't seem like a nice person. Uh, Okay, where are we? Have you read A Court of Thorns and Roses? No, I haven't. People keep telling me that Rosamund and Caroline's obsession with tropes is like ripping off A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is quite funny because I've never read it. But it does lead me to the conclusion that A Court of Thorns and Roses is itself ripping off, Danielle Steele from 10, 15, 20 years ago. So there is that. Gotta drop out. I have an optician appointment in an hour and a half. Good luck with that. Hope it goes well and that your eyes are good. I went to an optician's appointment recently, and I said, yeah, I was worried because my eyes have been very dry, and she was just like, use your eye drops more often. I was like, oh, okay. No, didn't seem to think there was any sort of underlying condition for it or anything. She was just like, if you have dry eyes, just use your eye drops more often. Like, okay. That hasn't. And so I went, okay, and that has been fine, and I haven't had to use my eye drops in ages, but thanks, I guess. I feel like with good media, you have to choose between reading on your chosen topic or good quality. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but no, it's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is a superior adaptation. Okay, that's that's a what's the phrase I'm looking for? That's definitely an opinion, and we respect people's rights to have an opinion, right? Emma is hard to relate to in the modern world. Her social position and the reason she is the way she is isn't really something we get. Yeah, that's why I feel like Clueless is such a good adaptation of it. Bad Boys 2 isn't that great. Emma is a cure for insomnia. Can you convert coffee into other currencies? I don't know. Okay, general question. People who know things about that. Do you know if you can convert to other currencies? We're going to find out. And I'm going to displays in... That doesn't... When you pay, auto converts to the chosen currency. Okay, I don't... If you have a USD coffee account, someone can send you tips in their local currency and it will be converted using the current exchange rate. Okay. So apparently you can you can send money in whatever currency you want, allegedly. Also, yeah, you can definitely pay in. I'm pretty sure you can pay in your local currency. Yes, non-sterling transaction, which would be ironic, really, because I am also in sterling. But you have maybe not. Okay. I think that was the point with World's End. He was damaged and the watcher had to believe the damage. I mean, that's fair, but also, ultimately, I want to watch movies where I like hanging out with the characters. And so, ones where you have to not like the characters in order for the movie to work, I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm sure other people like this kind of movie, but I don't, so off I go. And watch Hot Fuzz again. I had the same issue with Attack the Block. The protagonist mug a nurse at the start. It's hard to like them after that. Yeah. I've never seen that one, but apparently the Attack the Block person is the person who made Lockwood and Co., as in the Netflix series, which I really liked. So, Simon Pegg character in The World's End is a survivor of suicide and had serious mental illness. Gary, King of the Humans. Okay, I didn't know about the I don't know if we're allowed to say suicide, but we've been demonetized anyway, so we can probably say it as much as we want. Oh no. Things just jump sometimes. Like, it goes where, you were reading this post, were you? Well, tough. My eyes are dry. Have you tried applying moisture? Exactly. I thought you got a hold of your person. Yeah, once. And they said, please, you should contact creator support, who I'd already been talking to for 3 days previously. And then I said, have you any other suggestions? And apparently they didn't, because I haven't heard from them since, except in the fact that I've been sent a newsletter today. Favorite screen invitations. I've been addicted to analyses of bad books recently. I've been thinking of doing another book-related thing. But I'm not quite sure yet. Find out YouTube demonetize everybody every once in a while so they have a break to say spicy words. I suppose that could be it. This forum still rejects you and nobody has any better ideas. That is precisely the situation, yes. Was the leading story of the newsletter about how you don't exist? I don't believe so. Let me have a look and see what the leading story is. Your weekly community update is here. No. Join us for our holidays with YouTube community catch-up. Let's celebrate the journey so far, share inspiration, and connect with fellow creators on holidays with YouTube. What to expect, inspiring stories and shared successes. Q&A session, get your questions answered, opportunity to showcase your achievements. I could go to that. Actually, I don't think I can go to that because I have like an actual thing, a real life thing. Hey-ho. To go to at the same time, but the main problem with the Gary King character is that he doesn't really grow or change, and the message seems to be the world changes to make him overcome his issues, and he's right all along. That may well be the case. I have not watched the movie in a long time now. The newsletter might be a good sign. Didn't the problem happen after you cancelled said newsletter? I thought I had cancelled the newsletter, and that's why I wasn't getting them anymore. But it's the address for the newsletter is no reply at Google. So yeah. Hey ho. It's a newsletter for YouTube to creators, not from Jill to us. Yes, I am planning to figure out something with an email list. I used to have an email list back in the day, but I think I lost the login details. So, and that was like 7 years ago. So we might just have to figure out, does anybody use email newsletter programs like MailChimp or whatever? And if you do you have one that you recommend? Attendant asks how to fix the random demonetization plan. I mean, it might not go down well, but yeah, no, that's a very good point. Get your questions answered. Yeah, like I have I probably have internet access at the place that I'm going to, so I could just log in at 6 o'clock and we can find out. Can you send them a postcard or something? That would maybe stop the suspicious click suspicions. Yeah, so they did eventually conclude that it's not it's not sort of suspicious click activity that's made this happen. So that's good because it means I'm not being botted, which is always a positive. Unfortunately, that just means that it's something else, but we don't know what it is. The newsletters I receive are from MailChimp over Kajabi. Aren't email newsletters a little expensive? Rather than a vast email list, would it not be easier to post on a Discord or a Reddit or something? I mean, that's true. But an email list, you own the information, as it were. Whereas on, Reddit, they can kick you off at any time. And as we have just seen from this week, I'm not a fan of things where they can just kick you off anytime. I suppose Discord might be better because, they're less likely to throw you off at any given moment. But, who knows? Who knows what's going on there? Assemble your fandom and march on YouTube. I feel like that suspicious clock activity. That's when you go on TikTok too much. That's suspicious clock activity. Anyway, it has been. I've now been on here talking to all for almost. Oh, what happened there? Okay, sorry. The little window which has my face in it, as it were, and you guys are on the side here, is extremely behind. And so it just did a little heart thing, which was very nice, but I'm pretty sure that was like 10 minutes ago at this point. Anyway. Greetings from Tasmania, rather cold for the summer. Midst of all the chaos, can I just say how comforting it is to hear you talk? Well, you know me. As it turns out, I really like talking. Non-stop. As it turns out. Okay, if you want to imagine Google, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. Thank you. Yes, I feel like the George Orwell quotes are, dramatic, but not possibly a little over dramatic given the situation, but sometimes you need a little bit of drama, right? Hitchhikers, probably the appropriate level because it's just ridiculous, but here we are. Cold. I am in New South Wales and I am dying. Greetings from Western Australia. It's cold here too. That's fair enough. Good grief. I don't know, considering. You're not too bad. Good morning from Scotland. So what we have concluded so far, it seems to be more a Brazil or a Brave New World situation than 1984. As odd as it sounds, have you tried reaching out to your local MP to see if they can help? That might not be a bad plan, because I have had MPs over the years where I messaged them, including my address, to, so they know that I live in the constituency, and I heard nothing back. I don't think they're allowed to do that. Technically speaking, they are supposed to respond to all constituents, like, even if it's just, thank you, I've received your letter, or thank you, I've received your email. But I had some really, really terrible MPs, one of whom ended up not being in Parliament for terribly long. So, that has happened. But there is my local MP who has not been thrown out, as far as I know. So, were they Tories? No, they were not. I don't know if I've ever had a Conservative MP, because I've mostly lived in cities, and so you're less likely to get Conservative MPs there. The best constituency MP I ever had was is widely disliked, or was widely disliked at the time, but was nonetheless an excellent constituency MP, to the point where when they got voted out, the new MP was so useless that people were still contacting this old MP, or rather this old MP's staff, for a year afterwards saying, hey, can you help us with this problem? Because the new MP was just not answering anybody's messages at all. How's the universal standard of good politician not thrown out yet? Well, it's we only recently had an election here, and I only moved this year to this new place, so I don't really know if my MP is any good or not. Haven't really seen them do much yet. There are MPs who are liked. Yes, you generally don't hear about them on the news, though. When I went to the University of Warwick, which is a very long time ago now, my MP was Jim Cunningham, and I have no idea what Jim Cunningham was like as a person, but he had been an MP in that seat for like 30 years, and he was not going anywhere, and he was always unfailingly polite whenever I wrote to him, in a student activisty kind of way, and generally, it was like, hey, are you going to sign this early day motion? He was like, yes, I have in fact done that. Thank you. Every time I sent him a letter, I got a response. And so, I appreciated that. I'm just saying. Sometimes not doing much is the safest thing for politicians. Yeah. If it wasn't click activity, did they say what they thought it was? No, they have refused to elucidate or elaborate. Some people must like every MP. I mean, you would think that would be the case. Yeah. Young activist Jill sounds charming. She was also very annoying, though. Like, she meant well. And, on a lot of things, I current Jill and young activist Jill would still, in fact, agree. But also she was probably quite annoying, at least under some circumstances, I don't even know the name of my MP. I can't remember the name of mine either off the top of my head, but, I know where to find that information. So, it's all good. To be fair, I was quite a lazy, a sort of student activist type person, so was mainly, I mainly just sent letters to my MP and said, are you going to sign this thing, which is no chance of becoming law, or I'm going to, give money to this organization, or whatever. I did go to a university where there were occasionally, like, protests for things. I once had somebody come up to me from, like, the Socialist Party, which was quite funny because the University of Warwick, for those of you who don't know, is the kind of university where a large number of people want to be investment bankers. Like, not a majority of the people there, but a surprisingly large percentage of the people who attend the university would quite like to go into something like investment banking. And so you get lots of investment firms giving you free pencils and stuff. But you also get, like, the Socialist Party trying to, persuade you to come to a meeting about socialism. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't go out in the evening anymore. I have chronic fatigue. But thank you. I will take your... Yes, sure, I'll take your leaflet. Why not? Google probably doesn't know why your AdSense account is borked. That is probably true. Yeah. If we wait a month, Google will launch a new system to replace AdSense, and it'll probably be fine again. Oh, dear. I have suddenly developed hives. That sounds bad. I hope you feel better soon. Hey-ho. The most damning obituary ever. They meant well. What do you do? Instead of your email newsletter, why not promote your blog more? Didn't know it existed until now. Because I don't write anything on it. I mean, that isn't a bad idea, to be honest. That would require me to write things on it, I suppose. Which is true, because I quite frequently forget it exists, and also it's extremely ugly. I mean, I'm not going to say that I made it intentionally ugly, but I was unwilling to put in the time and, like, money that it would require to make it not ugly, as it were, because it's hosted via Google, like, on Blogger, because that's free, as in I have to pay for the what do you call it, the domain name, but I was like, I don't want to pay for hosting. What can you get that's free? Apparently there are slightly better options than hosting your website on Blogger these days, so, like, that was going to be one of my 2025 projects: make website less terrible. But, I want make website less terrible, and I'm fine with paying a one-off fee for that, but I absolutely loathe subscriptions, and therefore, would like to find something that doesn't require that. Which was something that I was looking up last week, and then everything just went to sort of bleh, and YouTube decided that, we're not getting the money anymore. But, here we are. Streaming regardless, and having a pretty good time, and embracing the, like, we definitely live in clown world, so we should embrace the honking and the tiny cars with 15 people in them and all of, the custard pies, and, if you live in clown world, you should embrace the custard pies. That's what I'm saying. If only YouTube's New Year's resolution is also to make their website less terrible. Yeah, I absolutely loathe subscriptions. Please subscribe. Yes, I mean, to be fair, I don't hate YouTube subscriptions because they don't cost you money, but I don't like the other kind very much. Make website less terrible with today's sponsor, Squarespace. I used to have a Squarespace website, but again, I resented paying them money every month. Available on Jill's website. We deep fry cheese here. When in Clown Rome. Exactly. Hey ho, what can you do? Anyway, it is 11th. Penny Hill Music intensifies. With Namecheap you pay once a year. Yeah, I like with my domain, I think I paid like 9 years in advance or something. So that was fine too. But you know, there are free hosting options, but you need to know things about them in order to use them properly. And like I'm willing to learn this, but possibly when I clear a few of the other major projects off my plate. Jill keeps trying to leave, but the comments keep her here. It's true. You're just, you're funny and engaging people. I'm just saying. And therefore, I don't want to leave and go and do whatever because that's less entertaining than talking to you. But I feel like I probably should. So I am going to do that. I'm going to press the button and say, good evening, day or morning. Or what's the Truman Show? In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That one too. Yeah, so hopefully we will be getting resolved soon. If not, it will probably be in the new year. Thank you again. If you want to, you can sign up to Patreon or give me a one-off donation on Coffee. That's what the pinned link is. If you don't want to do that, that is also fine. We're doing fine. And we are embracing the custard pies because we all live in Clown World now. Have a great day.